Well, let me thank Ted for being here. Let me thank CNN for sponsoring this debate, which I thought has been a very interesting discussion. As I see it, the great political problem that we face right now is that we have a Congress that is more interested in representing their campaign contributors and the very wealthy than the needs of ordinary Americans. Ted ran a very vigorous campaign for president. I congratulate him. But Ted also received $36 million in that campaign from three billionaires. And as a result of Citizens United, we're now looking at the Koch brothers, the second wealthiest family in America, and other billionaires literally buying elections. And that translates into health care policy, because the end result is that Congress worries more about the insurance industry and the pharmaceutical industry and the medical equipment suppliers than they do about the needs of the American people. If you listen closely to the very fine questions that people here asked tonight, and you take a step backward, you say, whoa, what kind of craziness is this? We are the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And yet we have tens and tens and tens of millions of people struggling with prescription drugs, struggling with basic health care. Yes, we can do better than that. And then on top of all of that, we end up spending almost twice as much per capita on health care as do the people of any other country. Now, what Ted is proposing is to make a difficult situation even worse. To my mind, Obamacare is a step forward. We have got to go further. But what Ted wants to do is do away with many of the patient protection bills, provisions that were passed, pre-existing conditions, a cap on what you have to pay, making sure that women are not discriminated against, making sure that young people can stay on their parents' insurance programs. Under Ted's idea, all of that is gone. You are on your own. I think that is a very bad idea.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Cruz?
I want to thank Bernie for being here and for being a vigorous and honest debater. He believes what he believes, and he represents it well. And I want to thank each of you for spending so much time addressing this critically important issue. You know, I'd like to take a minute and actually ask the people here, if the cameras could turn for a moment to the folks in the audience. I want to ask you, how many of you here in the last 6 years have seen your health insurance premiums or your deductibles go up? Let me ask another question. How many of you here know somebody, including yourself, who's had your insurance policy canceled in the last 6 years? If you look at these hands across the room, this is why people are so unhappy with Obamacare. Because it isn't working. Because it was built on an edifice of lies. When politicians promise the American people, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And 6 million people get their plans canceled against their wishes. Those are broken promises. When the President of the United States promises your premiums will drop $2,500 and instead the average premium rises $5,000 and deductibles go up $5,000, people are hurting because of Obamacare. And Bernie's solution, you know, I'm reminded of an old Saturday Night Live skit with Christopher Walken, where they're playing in a band and he keeps ringing the cowbell. And every time they record it, his solution is more cowbell, more cowbell. It was government control that messed this all up. And Bernie and the Democrats' solution is more cowbell, more cowbell. Yeah, it didn't work when we said you wouldn't get your plan canceled. Yeah, it didn't work when we said your premiums would be cut. But give government even more power. We can do better. I believe we're going to honor the promises we made to the American people, and we're going to repeal what Bill Clinton called Obamacare the craziest law in the world. Instead, we're going to give you choice, let you buy insurance across state lines, expand health savings account, make insurance portable, block grant Medicaid to the states so you can have experimentation health savings accounts so we can meet your needs, put you in charge of your health care with your doctor, not government. That's what this election was about, and now it is incumbent on all of us, Republicans and Democrats, to deliver on the promises made to the American people.
Our thanks to Senators Cruz and Senator Sanders for joining us here tonight.
And we also want to thank our audience here, our hosts at my alma mater, the George Washington University, CNN.